The reality is that American conservatives are very, very tired with all of this infighting that's been going on. I'm not going to speak to any of the specific issues of either side. Many of you probably know where I stand on this. But I know that there are so many divided voices on this and so much infighting between the political commentariat. It indicates to me that the Conservative Party is in an how do you say it, an intermediary phase where they're trying to determine what their philosophy actually is, what their core tenets and principles actually are. And they're having very big disagreements between very big podcast hosts that all sort of rode the coattails of Donald Trump because he was the glue of the coalition, because Charlie Kirk was the glue of the coalition. But he's dead now, rest his soul. It's annoying to see it play out in this fashion, and it's very disheartening as an American conservative to watch podcast hosts that I love and frankly have nothing but positive feelings for on the whole, regardless of my criticisms of their individual critiques. It breaks my heart to see them bickering amongst each other because while they do that, the left is consolidating power. The conservatives are looking at all of this infighting and thinking, well, they don't have good leadership. The Democrats also don't have good leadership. And that leads to a feeling of political desperation on both sides. And the more that happens, the more that the actual extremist will creep into the coalition. Now, I will say that the conservatives are better. They have a better immune tolerance against extremist views in their own party. But then again, the Overton window on what counts as an extreme view is rapidly shifting because in the death of Charlie Kirk and the rapidly approaching ending of Trump's second presidential term, of which he will not have another, there's a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of vying for power. There's a lot of vying for influence over the hearts and minds of the conservative people. And there's a discussion to be had about how to build a coalition in the future. A lot of uncertainty right now. But I will say this, I think everybody who's arguing and bickering about each other needs to get into a locked room with a mediator, not come out, not talk about what happened, and they just need to go to couples therapy for a little bit. And I'm not trying to be blasé or ironic about it. I actually genuinely think these people just need to talk it out in an honest and open fashion, air their grievances. And if they all want to consider themselves to be leaders of the Conservative Party, they need to find a way to settle their differences and actually rally a coalition around a specific person that they can trust, that they know is going to inspire the American people and not lead them down the dark corridors like, say, a Hitler, a Stalin, or even people like Obama and Biden who are just, kind of at their core either dead or identitarians. We don't want that. We want somebody who continues in the path of Trump, who is an isolationist, who follows good economic policy, who's against the trans issue, who's against identitarian politics, who believes that democracy has a right to thrive, who believes that countries have a right to defend themselves, who believes that native populations that are under siege of terroristic organizations posing as political parties have a right to be freed from those as well. And we need to recognize that there's a difference between fighting against Islam, which is the ideology, and Muslims, which are the people under which that ideology is currently housed. I like to believe, and I think Americans have to believe, that while Islam is the greatest enemy to a Judeo-Christian identity in the West, in the United States, that Muslims themselves are not necessarily the enemy. Muslims can be reached through many means. They can be convinced through many means that there is a peaceable God and a loving God in Jesus Christ who loves them no matter what they believe. All they have to do is turn to him. And hopefully through that sort of line of reasoning, we can start to undo years, centuries, thousands of years even, millennia of bloodshed, of conversion at the sword. To say that the conversion of the sword in Islam had nothing to do with the spread of the religion of peace is like saying that bank robbers have nothing to do with the charitable donations that the cashiers give them.